Hey, happy Wednesday, everyone. It's February 11th, 2026. I'm Rich Tola, and here's what's cooking for today. 3 days of the striking Condor. And number two, break the loop. That's it. Make love visible. We got to break the loop. But first, we're just talking through things today, keeping it like we did last time, a little short and sweet. So, how about your ABCs, guys? What's going on with your workout, sleep, diet? Remember the ABCs? Well, workout had a good one today. Not a great one. Did go back yesterday. Followed up and told you that half a workout went back. So it doesn't matter. As long as you're showing up, you're doing good. Sleep did well, and diet, I had a good one today. Peanut butter sandwich. That's all I had. But again, if you're not feeling so good, you still have to do it. You still have to move forward. Same thing with your diet. Stick to it. Guys, you know what you have to do there. All right, let's jump right into this because one of my favorite movies of all time. We're talking about 3 days of the Condor, but today we're talking about the striking Condor. Well, what is a condor? Anybody know this? California condor is the largest flying land bird in North America. The Andean condor is the largest flying land bird in South America. These are soaring birds. They have about 10 feet of wingspan. I was a fan of the condors back in the day because in 1982, we got down to 22 of these. That's it. They were nearly extinct, critically endangered scavengers, they are. They were nearly extinct in 1982, but we recovered through captive breeding programs. I read all about that. Now there's about 500 of them, maybe a little more than 500. These guys live to be 50 years old. Remember that number 50. But the California condor, they're known for their bald heads because they eat carcasses, the black plumage, and their soaring capabilities. The oldest bird, they said, was 100 years old. So these things live 50 to 100 years old. I guess you could say they're like us. Well, what is like us? Talking about schools. San Francisco Unified School District. That was established in 1851. So here we are, the third day of a strike. First in the school districts. It's the first school district in the state of California. Got 50,000 students across 122 schools. So like I said, we're on day 3. I never worked at the San Francisco Unified School District, but what are they striking over? Wages and healthcare and more resources for students with special needs. Love that. No doubt teachers need more money. Healthcare. So anyway, this is the first time in 47 years the students are staying home due to teachers on strike. All right, the district and the union, right, teachers union, they're far apart in negotiations. The teachers, they want 4.5% raise for the next 2 years. And they offered them, they started at 2%. Now they're up to 3%. 3% for the next 2 years. That's what the district's offering. And these guys are a little bit far apart. All right. What are we talking about? 6,000 teachers need to be making more money. I believe that. What I witnessed, teachers are worth more money. And healthcare, they say right now they're offering 75% coverage by the union. They're demanding by the district. They're demanding 100% coverage by the union. So, this happens. Strikes do happen. But how about this? The film is more exciting than the striking teachers. Teachers need more money, without a doubt. This film, one of my favorites of all time, 3 Days of the Condor, starring Robert Redford, Faye Dunaway, Cliff Robertson, and Max von Sydow. He was in everything back in the day. He was the bad guy. There was a $20 million budget for that movie. And they said it was filmed in Manhattan, 55 East 77th Street. I lived on 81st and 1st for a long time, so right around the corner. Again, 1975 September. It's about a bookish CIA researcher in Manhattan who finds all his co-workers dead, right? And he must outwit those responsible until he figures out who he could really trust. He kidnaps Faye Dunaway. Well, go watch that. If you haven't seen that movie, go watch that movie. And speaking of movies, good luck to all the teachers striking. Hope they do get the dollars. I went to see Shelter yesterday. Well, let me tell you, Jason Statham is awesome, but when you get spoiled by his movies, right, his badassdom, without a doubt, this is like a Jason Statham movie on training wheels. I'll be honest with you. Well, I'm definitely not going to go see it again. I'm not going to recommend going to see it. And it comes around on these pay-per-views, not going to see it. It's a fast movie without a doubt. It's 107 minutes, but it feels really quick action thriller. It's a story about a recluse on a remote Scottish island who rescues a girl from the sea, unleashing a perilous sequence of events that culminate in an attack on his home, compelling him to face his turbulent history. Well, I mean, these are pretty strong words. Unleashing. Well, I don't know. Again, I felt like it was training wheels. It's a $50 million budget. And we introduced, well, I don't know if it's the first time for you, first time for me, Bodhi Ray Brethnick. She's the lead. She's great. I mean, she could be in the next Game of Thrones for sure. What about this? Exciting? Nah, not really. Heartfelt? Nah. Scary? Nah. Gory? Nah. Funny? Nah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't even want to look this up. It's grossed $30 million. Does it make back its money? It makes it back because of Jason. He's the man. But like I said, I think this is a movie on training wheels. So I'm not going to give it a grade. But if I did, let's put it this way. It's not going to be in the 90s. All right. How about this? This is my last topic, second topic, important topic. How can we break the loneliness loop? Calling it the loneliness loop for older adults. Okay. As a report, 2025 review and analysis published in Aging Clinical and Experimental Research found that people with regular supportive relationships tend to live longer. Yeah, no kidding. Yet you want to look younger, you want to be younger. We got to work out every day, right? The ABCs. But what about this? You need these supportive relationships. All right, here's another report published last year. A scientific report found a clear pattern. Mortality risk rose as social isolation increased. That makes sense. Without a doubt, the amount of social connection someone has matters. We're talking social. I'm not talking Facebook. These 80-year-old people, we're not talking about social media, but we got Valentine's Day coming up. I'm going to say this because I know people now getting older up there in age and they don't really have anybody. So you have to keep your older friends healthy and happy. Squash the loneliness, break the loop. We can do it. Everybody can do it. All right. What's it involve? Because again, this is like a serious thing, but is it? Yeah, you're not really thinking about it. I remember my Uncle Mickey. When he was 90 years old, we had to put him in the nursing home with Alzheimer's coming on. And I'll be honest, I went to go see him once a month. My father went to go see him, get him a haircut once a month. But for the most part, it was sad. Nobody really went to go see him. But there's a quote here from a Dr. Brian Bruno, board certified psychiatrist, said loneliness triggers chronic stress responses that elevate cortisol levels, weakens immune function, and increases systemic inflammation. I know about inflammation all throughout my body, but I say when cortisol stays high for long periods, blood vessels become less flexible and are more prone to damage. The immune system responds to this damage with inflammation, which slowly increases the risk of blocked arteries, heart attack, stroke, etc. Everybody knows that. So we got to keep this cortisol down. Social isolation is one of the most, is what they said, the most under-recognized drivers of cardiovascular disease. Increases the risk of heart attack, stroke, high blood pressure, premature death. Just learn that. When this cortisol stays high, blood vessels become less flexible, prone to damage. Boom, there you go. I mean, older people, social isolation. Now, social interaction, it says requires the brain to constantly process language, recall memories, interpret emotions, and respond in real time. That's why social interaction is so good, right? It requires the brain to do all this. Constantly processing language, recalling memories, interpreting emotions, or responding in real time helps maintain brain activity, greater resistance to aging. Without a doubt, work out every single day. You sleep every day, eat well. Now you need the social interaction. I'll put a lot of emphasis. What's the difference, though? The difference between social isolation and loneliness. Well, social isolation means having few social contacts or limited interactions with others. So many older people do. I mean, so many. I mean, as you get older, you have less interaction if you're not going in office every day. Well, loneliness, on the other hand, is how someone feels about their relationships. Again, it's the feeling of it, right, versus the isolation of it. A person can be around others every day and still feel lonely if those relationships do not feel meaningful or supportive. And I experienced that with my Uncle Mickey. We became buddies. We'd watch boxing together. He's old time Italian dude. He'd love it, but we were like buddies. We'd talk about things versus just somebody he just met, right? You're older, you're meeting somebody in the nursing home. Forget about it. There's a difference. So, how do we fix it? All right, we got to do this. What's the translation? Quality and consistency over quantity. That's like everything. You're going to work out for 15 minutes, a quality workout, consistent every single day is way better than doing it for 5 hours. I didn't work out this month. Let me go to the gym for 5 hours. That doesn't work. Oh, I didn't brush my teeth last month. Let me brush my teeth for 12 hours. That doesn't work. Quality and consistency over quantity. Older adults with regular family contact tend to be more engaged and proactive about their health. That's just proven. Okay. Anyway, how do we build these meaningful relationships, right? If you want to build a meaningful relationship with an older person, quality and consistency over quantity. And how about this? Make it predictable. That's right. You want to be predictable. It's very calming for the nervous system. It creates expectation, especially people struggling with sleep or anxiety. Let me tell you, flashback to a movie, Flashdance, 1983. Love that movie. One of my favorites. Alex, Jennifer Beals, and Hannah Jones, maybe, or, Hannah was this older woman that was like her mentor, retired dancer. It wasn't her grandmother per se, but it kind of was that figure to her. But go consistently, right? Every time. It's a consistency. Make it predictable. I love that, her interactions with her. All right, how about this? Share small activities. You can walk and talk together. You can read aloud to the person. You can look through photos together. So spend these little activities, right? Doing things together. And number 4, overcome distance barriers. Zoom, baby, Zoom. Now, most older people aren't using the phone like, these younger kids are, right? But you have to overcome. My Uncle Mickey was, an hour and change away. I was in New York. He was in Trenton, New Jersey. But you still have to make the effort. All right. And consistency. Consistency is all about structure, just like your ABCs. So remember, quality and consistency. Make it predictable. Share small activities. Overcome distance barriers. Companionship is one of the simplest investments families and friends can make in helping their older loved ones live longer and healthier lives. All right, let me say that again, and that's just it. Put it close. Aside from the ABCs, companionship is one of the simplest investments families and friends can make in helping their older loved ones live longer and healthier lives. All right, guys, that's it for today. You want to be living a longer, healthier life? Get with it, stay with it, and as always, get your workout in. Peace.